way to go.
These are not speculation. He delivered on these three things that every Christian should care about. Number one, blessed are the peacemakers. I'm 31 years old now. For the last 32 years, Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump, Biden, there's only been 4 years where there's been no new wars, and that was Donald Trump. We had peace in the Middle East and the Abraham Accords of Donald Trump brokering peace between Israel, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia. Anyone who knows anything about the region, that's a remarkable accomplishment to get those kind of actors together. Putin did not invade Ukraine when Donald Trump was president. Trump was the peace president. We had less civilians dying, less refugees, less war-related casualties than any time in the last 32 years. The only 4 years that was not the case. Bill Clinton mercilessly bombed the Balkan Peninsula in Serbia and Bosnia. We obviously know Bush invaded Iraq and Afghanistan. Obama started coup d'etats in Libya and Syria in the Arab Spring. Peace for Trump, and then under Biden we had Israel, Palestinian conflict, and of course Russia and Ukraine. So that's number one as Christians. We should care about peace, not war. Number two.
Can I say something about that? Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, that's okay.
I'm just trying to learn. So in the gospel, you're bringing up peacemakers, right? That's better than peacekeepers. That's legitimately, I'm going out to seek peace. What is Donald going to do, and what does he promise to get us away from World War III?
Yeah, exactly. So you must first come from the intent, which Trump has, and he's well on the record, that war is not something to flippantly throw around as a cheap negotiating tactic or bargaining chip. War is the worst thing we can do. And I feel as if Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney, John Bolton, Leon Panetta, the people that Kamala Harris has now surrounded herself with, that were the architects and the authors of the Iraq War, they're very flippant about war. They don't seem to be concerned about the suffering, the death, the casualty, the spending, the PTSD, the veterans issues. I mean, war is the worst thing that human beings can do. It's the worst expression.
But people make money off of doing it.
They make a lot of money off of it, and I think it's even deeper than that. I think it's a death cult.
So how do we?
So blessed are the peacemakers. Donald Trump will then, before he is president, because Zelensky's already coming to the table, he'll put Putin at the table and Zelensky at the table, and he'll say, "You're not going to get everything you want. You're not going to get anything you want. This ends right now. Mr. Putin, you probably get a portion of eastern Ukraine. Zelensky, stop saber rattling. You're not going to NATO. We're not going to have a couple 100,000 more civilians needlessly dead. This is done. This is over." America is strong enough to broker that deal today because, George, this is what's so important, is that there was a peace deal on the table that would have prevented the Russian-Ukrainian war 5 days into the conflict. Your audience can fact check me on this. This was in Istanbul, Turkey. Tony Blinken and Boris Johnson went to Istanbul, Turkey, and they obliterated a peace deal that was on the table between Zelensky and Putin because they said, no, we will not negotiate with Vladimir Putin. Well, now we have to negotiate with him, and that was the wrong decision, and hundreds of thousands of people needlessly died. So blessed are the peacemakers. I can go deep into that, but it's a peace through strength posture, where Trump is unafraid to project American strength, not weakness, but he is trying to seek reconciliation. What America gets is what America wants. We are still the strongest country in the world. It's not China, it's not Russia. We're still the world reserve currency status. We have the greatest military, most aircraft carriers. We don't have the most nuclear weapons, that's Russia, but we still kind of call the shots.
Hey, man.
Well, no, I mean...
I don't know if you know this. That's a big weapon, dude.
No, it is. We have a lot of nuclear weapons, but at some point, 20,000 versus 10,000.
Where did they get this, and how did they get this so quick?
Well, the Soviet Union spent tons of money on developing an internal intercontinental ballistic missile nuclear warhead program starting in the 80s and 90s. And I mean, it's not the 80s, I'm sorry, the 60s and 70s, and then it culminated in the 80s and 90s. But anyway, we have a bunch of nuclear weapons. They do too. In almost every metric, though, what America gets, America wants. If we demand peace, we will get peace. Right now, the American Foreign Policy Project thinks that Putin is the worst person ever. I don't like Putin. You don't like Putin. Is he like the warmonger of... Is he like the most evil person since Adolf Hitler? I don't think so, actually. I think he's a thug and he's a gangster that is morally equivalent with most kind of Eastern European thugs, to be perfectly honest.
How did you feel about the Tucker Carlson interview then?
I thought it was fine. I learned a lot. I mean, here's Putin, a guy that controls a country of 12 time zones, the largest landmass in the country. It's an incredibly diverse country. It's like 10 or 15% Muslim. You have a lot of different mafioso, post-Soviet influences. It's not an easy country to govern. I'm interested to learn about what they think about us. I mean, we should learn about what does Russia think about us.
This video is sponsored by Manscaped. They outdid themselves. The Lawnmower 5.0 Gold Ultra. What? This is nice. Oh my, I almost took out my hair right now. And it would have been nice. I wouldn't even felt it. It just fell off. I'm like, oh, my hair, but look how smooth it is. This is one of my favorite brands to work with because as a Middle Eastern man, the trouble of shaving has always been a journey for me. This one, they've outdone themselves. 2 buttons now. One for power, and then the other one for an LED light. Because when you're in a dark place and you're trying to get the dark place, you know what I mean? You could see it. And these blades aren't just for looks, they're engineered for excellence. The update trimmer blades feature a longer, wider, rounder teeth to tackle hair effortlessly, while the foil blade provides sleek, smooth finish. Yeah. And it does. Look how easy it is to take off these blades. Look. The way that I'm putting on these clips and attacking my hair, it looks like John Wick. I walk in, there's hair everywhere. What? I need to get to this brood. But all joking aside, I never ever travel without my Manscaped. So if you guys want this with 20% off plus free shipping, use my code George. Link is in the description. Get the gold standard, baby. I just find it fascinating that they do drop the ball on certain equations that you're mentioning, but at the other hand of it, they don't poison their citizens.
Well, no, actually, Russian food is actually way healthier than ours.
That's what I'm saying.
Like way healthier.
Yeah, so like he might have a lot of nukes and also a lot of nutrients.
We have to be fair. Like Russian food, yeah, exactly. Russian food is far more expensive than American food. But yes, Russian food is far more regulated than American food. So I want to just go through this list really quick, though, for Christians, though. Blessed are the peacemakers. Number 2, which is fighting for the unborn, something I care about, which I know Donald Trump is not nearly as pro-life as I am. I wish he was more pro-life, but it is what it is.
When did that stop? Because didn't he fight for that?
He was always pro-life, and he gave us the reversal of Roe versus Wade. It didn't stop. What has happened is he's been met with a political hurricane where the country is not pro-life. And
yeah, but that doesn't mean stand down on what your morals are.
He hasn't. He has stood by the reversal of Roe versus Wade, sending it back to the states. He has always been against late-term abortion. He's been consistent on that. He has said that we need, exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother. And look, there are 10 states that have now completely abolished abortion, which is thanks to Donald Trump. And we as Christians should celebrate that and say, thank you, Donald Trump, for giving us that once-in-a-generation type victory. I want to incorporate number 2 and 3 together really quick for Christians should care about. Borders are biblical. There's an entire book of the Bible that is dedicated to building the wall. The book of Nehemiah, which literally is the Build the Wall book, where Donald Trump...
so Donald Trump stole that... Man, I was kidding.
We should just call him Nehemiah.
Get inspiration somewhere.
Exactly.
It's so funny.
Which literally the whole book is about building the wall. But borders are biblical. Without borders, you don't have countries. We know that God's plan for humanity is not a one-world government. We know that in Genesis 11, which is the city of Babel, where Nimrod tried to build a one-world government upon himself with no borders, one language, one culture. God said, no, we are not okay with that, and scattered the languages amongst the people.
That was us.
I'm aware. The greats.
Don't learn from us, guys. We messed up. But yeah, no, I agree with
Nimrod
all that.
was your people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, it's so funny because when people bring that up to me, I just like smile. Like that's the only part of Assyrians that they bring up. Whatever.
But it was also a great civilization. But
they were smart. They created math. They created wrestling, astronomy.
The wheel?
Yeah. They created me.
There you go.